yoga, storytelling, fitness classes, and much more. All free for you to enjoy. Visit waterfrontparkseattle.org for the full summer schedule. That's waterfrontparkseattle.org. Connect to your Seattle at Pier 62.
Hello, listener. What's important to you about what's going on in your community? Are you interested? Are you concerned? In any case, I invite you to tune into my show, Seattle Here and Now, on Rainier Avenue Radio App. Why? I will be covering a wide range of topics important to you and impacting the community. Each show will have a special guest or guests to share with you information on a variety of subjects that are happening here and now in Seattle. I promise I will work hard to make my show informative, interesting, and entertaining. Be sure to listen to Seattle Here and Now on Rainier Avenue Radio World.
Hey y'all, how you doing? This is that guy Curtis from R&R Live Jam Sessions. I want y'all to tap in with me every Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time right here on Rainier Avenue Radio World. R&R Live Jam Sessions, baby. Holla.
Welcome to the coronavirus pandemic. I'll take coronavirus for 100. Fever, chills, shortness of breath, loss of taste or smell. Where to stay at home and isolate. Correct. Coronavirus for 200. Inability to stay awake, persistent pain or pressure in chest, trouble breathing. Where to seek immediate help. Correct.
Coronavirus for 500.
Crippling and potentially dead infectious disease eliminated the United States with vaccination.
What is the polio vaccine?
Correct.
I'll take coronavirus for 700.
The Daily Double! Should I take the coronavirus vaccine? Wait. Hold up. This is not a game. It's time for serious discussion. We have coronavirus vaccines, but not everyone is comfortable taking them. Here's the facts. Based on what has been proven about vaccines for other diseases, COVID-19 vaccine may help keep you from getting seriously ill, even if you do get the virus. Getting vaccinated also may protect people around, particularly those at greater risk for severe illness from COVID-19. We don't yet have all of the answers. Get informed, talk to your healthcare physician, and make the right decision for you. This is a message supported by the Washington State Department of Health.
This is Rainier Avenue Radio World.
Welcome to Real Estate and Money, a half-hour program on Rainier Avenue Radio World, designed to help you whether you're a buyer, seller, investor, or renter in real estate. Your hosts are two local professionals who will escort you on your journey. Violeta Strash, who has years of media advertising and marketing experience and brings this extensive knowledge to John L. Scott Real Estate and all our clients. And Tina Lombard, who is a mortgage loan originator with guaranteed rate Affinity, with over 28 years of experience. And now here's Violeta and Tina.
Hi. How's everybody doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Fine. Good to have everybody on the show today.
Yay.
Yes. Great. Yeah.
I know we have Joey coming on board.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And we're going to be talking about some interior design, as you can see here. We've got some interior design things happening. And how was your weekend, V?
Oh, it was somewhat quiet. My Huskies lost. And I don't know what to say about that game. It's crazy.
Okay.
Didn't expect them to lose against Montana, but there's always next week, right?
Yeah, yes.
How about you?
Oh, gosh, I can't remember what I've done today. I went to Beaver Creek last week, and then this week we went to the mountains a little bit. Went paddleboarding just a little bit this week, and it's still like 95 degrees outside.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're still doing our thing. I still have a boat day next week with my real estate association. We're going to go out on a speedboat, like a 19-seater speedboat.
Nice.
But yeah, so this week,
wow,
it was good. It was good weather. It was good.
Okay.
Yes. So before we get started, everybody, on the top of the hour, V goes ahead and she tells us what's going on in the market. She's giving us a market update. So V, take it away.
Okay. You might want to switch your screen, Tina.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry to call attention to that. All right. Never mind. All right. Okay, here we go with our market update for King County. Week to week, from last week to this week, we had 322 homes on the active list, and 576 homes sold last week at an average price of $1,097,000, which is and last year it was $1,005,000. Looking at a 9% difference there. Is that my phone? I don't think my phone is on. Anyway, sorry. And then we're looking at from this year August to last year August, the dollar per square feet was $454 this year. Last year it was $387, which is 17% increase. I know we were having trouble with materials, getting ordered, manufacturers not being able to get supplies out. So that's what's going on with our dollar per square footage rising this year to year. Days on the market in King County, we're looking at 19 days versus 30 last year. That's 63% change there. Okay, in Pierce County, we had 230 homes active, and 331 were sold at an average price of $584,000. Last year was $529,000, showing a 10% increase year to year. August to August, this year we're looking at $268 a square foot. 223 was last year, 20% increase there. And days on the market, 18 this year, 31 last year. So you're looking at, a couple weeks difference. Isn't that amazing? And that's 58% right there. Snohomish County, 163 homes are on the market. Were active this past week. 257 homes sold at an average price of $738,000. That from last year is a 7.5% increase because last year it was $686,000 average price. For the square footage price, August of this year, we were looking at $329 a square foot. Last year was $273 a square foot, which is a 21% increase. And then days on the market in Snohomish County, 16 days versus 29 days last year, 55% increase. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. It's still hot. It's still, multiple offers, but I think there's a little change in that. Homes are staying on the market a little bit longer before they go pending. There you have it.
That's great. So how am I doing, Daniel? Am I better? Okay. Still echo. There's an echo. Okay. Well, do you want to talk a little bit about home design while I get rid of this echo?
Oh, we're going to be this portion of the show. We're going to talk about our seniors, continuing our conversation about the seniors and how, they're not prepared for all the different things going on around them. They have family members that are trying to help out, but it gets a little bit confusing when there's maybe a lot of people involved and they're not in the mindset of getting a decision, coming up with a decision on their own. So families are going to have to figure out what it is that their loved one needs. And I know we were talking about different companies taking advantage of our seniors, Tina. And do you want to cover a little bit of that? What you had found out, what's going on?
Okay. Now, can you hear me? Is it better without the?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I can.
Okay. How about you, Daniel? We good? Okay, great. So, a lot of our seniors out there, they are getting taken advantage of. They're getting phone calls. People are calling them up and they're saying stuff like, your social security number has been compromised. Right now we need you to pay $35,000 or $89,000 seems to be the going rate. And a lot of times our people, they fall prey to this. They fall prey. So there's other things that, sometimes real estate agents come by, sometimes mortgage lenders come by, and they take advantage of people either by giving them an extremely high rate, having them sign loan papers and that sort of thing where they really shouldn't be. They're not of sound mind. I've had my parents or my mother had been approached by people who are wanting to sell her house without telling the rest of the family. This sort of thing. So you want to be very, very cognizant of fraud. If you have somebody in your family, like an auntie or a mother, a parent, or somebody who's kind of disabled and they don't really have a lot of connections with the outer world, they may fall prey. So you need to really get involved in their business. This is a very good opportunity if somebody is victimizable. They can be easy prey for somebody. You want to make sure you sit down with them and you start talking about financial means, a trustee, setting up deeds of trust, setting up wills, that sort of thing, and make sure that everybody in the family is involved. So, have you ever come across a situation where you had an elderly person and you were trying to give them advice and it sounded like they weren't all there?
Oh yeah, most definitely. And it's so heartbreaking to get into that situation because if I'm not a family member, then it's hard to tell. Yeah, they look to me sometimes as the expert, the real estate expert, and I will advise them to first of all talk to their children or whoever's in charge, who's the power of attorney, individual or individuals that's going to be able to answer some questions on their behalf, but they could, they sometimes fall into the let's get them because they need to get out of the house, and so let's try to sell them this piece of property in Timbuktu, and they have money, so let's do that, and then get them on the rate going in.
Right. And so you have to be very, So you have to be very aware, if your loved ones are out there and they are, they have paid off their property 20 years ago. And, there are lists out there in the real estate world. Well, we could find out who owns their property outright. If there is no financing on the deed of trust, a lot of mortgage lenders will send them mail saying, we can refinance your home. We can sell your house. You want to take cash out. And they can make these letters look very, very appetizing. So, like my mother's done all the time, even though I've been in banking for like 20-something years, and she still would get letters in the mail and she would believe them. Hey, I can get a rate of 1.5 or 2.9. I can give you $100,000 cash back. And she would call them up even though I was her child. So you want to make sure that your loved ones know not to talk to anybody about their finances if they're in a comfortable position. Of course, you don't want to, take control away from them. You certainly don't want to step in when it's not warranted. But if it is warranted, do not feel embarrassed to say, hey, if anybody calls you to buy anything, to sell anything, they want to look at your finances, you call me up first.
Yeah, we had a situation where my father-in-law got calls from an investment banker, and they asked him to provide them with his social security number on the phone. And it's like, oh no. And he did. And then he called my husband to say, should I have done that? Well, no, never give out any personal information like that. Social security, banking information, your routing number, account number. Don't let them do that. Just be aware that things can happen, and our parents, grandparents, they forget. So always have someone circle around to talk to them on a weekly basis and get a feel for what they're doing and what they need.
Well, yes. Well, my mother used to always fall susceptible to this. There was some scam in Seattle where somebody will call up from the police guild. And they will ask for money for the police guild or for the fallen officers. And at the time, I had cousins who were police officers. I've had, I was dating somebody who was in the police department. And they're like, I don't know what you're talking about, but this gentleman, I don't even want to say it, I'm just closing my mouth, but extracted thousands of dollars from my mother. Okay? So a lot of times they'll play on your sympathies and your, philanthropy outside of you. And you got to tell your parents, you cannot give money over the phone to people who solicit you over the phone. You have to get involved. On the flip side of the coin is, me as a mortgage professional and V as a realtor, sometimes people will call us and they're not all there and they're making decisions they should not be making decisions on. See, I want to sell my house, but my kids, I don't want to tell my kids anything. They're trying to control. And you're like, should I be selling this house? Or they'll call me. They're like, I don't want my kids to know, but I want a VA loan. They have no business telling me where, and I want to move out of the house. Give me a VA loan. And I'm like, okay. And so a lot of times if I feel that the parent is doing something against their better wishes or better judgment, I really can't call the client, the kids and say, hey, your mother, but I can say, hey, is there a child in your family that I can call in case I can't get a hold of you? Is there somebody I can get a hold of in an emergency situation? And then I'll call that child up and say, hey, my name is Tina. Your parents reached out for me for a mortgage. Did you know anything about that? And then it'll open up the conversation. Yeah. And, I just don't want to, we don't want to put our licenses in jeopardy, and we don't want to misuse our licenses. So sometimes if you're a professional, you get solicited by people maybe shouldn't be calling you for business. Maybe they're stepping across their own boundary lines. And,
unfortunately, it's like a lot of ethnic groups, they don't understand the language, but they know that it's the voice of authority that's calling them. And okay, I'll give you the money. I'll write you a check today. And you need to do that today. Then, okay, I'll do it today. Because, again, it's an authority figure. And, I don't want to go to jail, so I'll do what they say.
They want to comply. And, there's sometimes too, V, I don't know whose client was, but the kids will try to sell the parents' home without the parents knowing, and, so I give a pre-approval letter and we find out on title the person doesn't even own a house, so on our end, we'll do our due diligence. But sometimes, some family members can be tricky. They're trying to sell your house from underneath you.
Yeah, I always pull preliminary title for every transaction, just so I know that whoever's buying or selling their home is the legal person that can do that. Yes.
So, I mean, we've got, sometimes I get kids with the same last name, the same first name and last name.
Yeah.
Boy, I tell you something, V. We got to do our due diligence. But,
my gosh.
So, are we at our halfway mark then, Daniel?
Yeah. Is Joey standing by, Daniel?
I think I saw him here earlier.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah. Let's go on our break and then bring Joey back into the studio with us. Thanks.
Tune in to Real Estate and Money every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3 here on Rainier Avenue Radio.world. Join your hosts, Violeta Strash with John L. Scott Kent North and Tina Lombard with Guaranteed Rate Affinity. They'll help you navigate the waters of our volatile real estate market and offer you some guidance on how to make your hard-earned money work to make your dreams come true. Learn about current trends, get tips on financial matters, and have fun, interactive discussions about your home inside and out. That's Real Estate and Money.
Great. So who do we got on today? Is Mr. Joey Howard.
Where's Joey? There is Joey. Yay. Hi.
Kamusta ka?
Oh, mabuti ako. How about you, Tina? Kamusta ka? Okay.
I'm doing just fine. Now that you're here and you're going to tell us some more about some wonderful interior design.
Yeah, today I think the topic that we decided on is we're going to talk about the importance and the practicality of in-home study areas. It seems to be a big trend right now, and homes that are providing these in-home study areas for kids for 2, 3, or more, a space where kids can study in. And because it's going back to school, it's still tentative in some parts of the country. Yes. And so we're finding it's a search word that's coming up more often when people are looking for homes. Is there a dedicated area to create a study area, a study room? And that's something that I think we need to pay attention to. And this isn't just about throwing some desk in a room. It really is about carefully thought out areas. And when there's multiple spaces, because let's say there's 2 kids or 3 kids, each of them have a dedicated space that is not necessarily that may be on the same desk, but they'll be separated in between, so they each have their sense of privacy when they're, especially if they're Zooming.
Okay.
Right.
We got some pictures for you, Joey, to go through. Daniel, did you pick those up? Here's one.
Here we go. See, this is a great use of what may have been just dead space.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of areas in a home, especially the larger homes, where space is not a luxury, but it's just part of the floor plan. And you might find, I call them dead end areas, such as this, where you can set up a really great desk area. You just want to make sure that it's wired as needed for your electronics, and also that the Wi-Fi reaches that particular corner of the house.
Yeah, and I believe that's a stairwell right there. That's, kind of the area up to the right and down below. That's a stairwell. You go up and there's that dead space like Joey was talking about.
And a lot of times you see them in homes where they're just going to put a couple chairs or that's like a pseudo lounge area, but this is a much better use of space. And also it's open, and so the parents can listen and also, eyeball them to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do.
Okay, next.
Yeah,
That's nice.
Yeah, this is a really nice. This is a really large room, and it's reminiscent of a house that I did on Mercer Island, in which there was, two kids still in school and one in college, and a single dad. And they decided, because they had a nice eating area off the family room kitchen, that there really was no need for a dining room any longer. So we converted the dining area to something very, very similar, which was really the first time. It wasn't even being called a study room at that point.
Perfect.
That's nice. That makes you just feel, like you want to study. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really nice setup, and and there's a lot of light, which I think is an important part of these rooms. You want to make sure that there's a lot of daylight. It's more conducive to learning, and it also keeps you motivated, as opposed to a dark room, which will make you sleepy.
Absolutely. Okay.
And a lot of storage.
Here's a hallway.
Yeah, and here's another one. This is another great example of this. Would have just been a bowling ball hallway with really no purpose or use, and it would probably have a console or some chairs, which really would be an underutilized space. But as you can see, it's a really nice way to incorporate multiple study areas and keep it real clean. You notice the use of drawers on probably either side of the chairs, so and at the end of the day they can put their things away and it won't look so cluttered.
That's nice.
All you need is a power strip in a lot of cases where you have multiple desk areas, right, Joey?
Yeah, and you want to. And the thing is, if with the correct planning, you could avoid, the octopus, as I'm wearing an octopus, of the electrical cords by having put some thought into it and making sure that it's either hidden away or you're cutting a hole in the appropriate areas of a desk. So feed the cords down, and you're not going to see it. You're not going to see them. You're not going to see them as much if you don't plan that way. I'm not a fan of cords, but it's a necessary evil.
No,
but we can't.
You got any suggestions to hide cords?
To go ahead and make sure that if it's going to be in a desk area, that that there's holes that have been drilled or pre-drilled, or you drill them on site so that the cords can drop into the hole and then be fed underneath, and then can be bundled together nicely via zip ties, and even can be supported underneath the desk so that it's not just all over the place.
Absolutely. Yes, I like that idea.
What do you think about sound? I mean, should you have a place that's away from the family room or away from the kitchen? Or what do you think about location, vicinity to sound?
Well, it's in a study environment. It's always nice to have a space that you can close the doors on. But a lot of times, these study areas, as we've seen in the past, in the first picture and this picture, it's utilizing the open space that would be wasted otherwise. So sometimes you don't have that luxury as far as putting it in a separate room, like the second photo we saw with the roof. I mean, that was a separate room. But And so there, you just have to have your house rules. No TV is going on while there's study time.
Right.
Daniel,
right.
here's a bedroom.
Very
The
good.
next picture is a bedroom set up.
Yes, this is a great way to incorporate, again, probably a very underutilized area of the room, and you can have shelving, and it's really clean.
It's nice.
It's dedicated. And it's nice to have, because sometimes you don't have that extra room like I've been talking about. Sometimes you have to use what you have, which is in the bedroom. But it's just really nice to have a dedicated space for who's using that desk area, because it makes you get the work done because you have place to go.
Mm-hmm. That's very true.
And then when you have no choice, but Daniel, the next one, you're in the kitchen with everyone else.
Yeah, and a lot of times this, the parents want to be seeing what's going on, and I mean, I think there would be designated study time, but if there's a lot of noise going on, obviously it's distracting. So I would think that in this kind of environment, you'd have study time, and when study time is done, then you start preparing the meals.
Okay.
Yeah, or you can eat the entire time. That's what I do. Helps with studying. Close to the refrigerator.
Because studying makes you hungry.
Yeah. And then our last one, Daniel, small space. This is like a studio, like a college room. Yeah,
this is, there's still a way to incorporate, and people, even though you can move around with a laptop, and you don't necessarily need to be at a desk. You really do need a desk to work at, because there's still not everything is done on the computer. Sometimes you have to pull out pencil and pen, and you need a dedicated surface to actually do that kind of work. And so it's tight, but nonetheless, there's some place to go. I always like the idea of having a dedicated space to do your work at.
Yeah,
I think it keeps you more organized, if anything.
Right. And last week, some schools, when it just started this week, I know a lot of schools started right after Labor Day, and so there are a lot of great ideas on how to utilize space and take advantage of some some areas that you may not have thought of. And then the other thing is hopefully you have a yard where they can have their recess if they're at home. And but yeah, anyway, thanks, Joey. Anything else you can think of that we may have missed? But back to school, it's now.
Yeah, it is now. And I mean, there's been studies that have shown that kids that have a dedicated area to do their homework at, and to have their laptop and with an attached printer where they actually have a command center to just study, actually do better in school.
This is nice. So if, I know before the last time you were on here, we were talking about rooms that are no longer necessary, like the grand living room or what have you. So if you had to pick one room and you said, I want to go for my kids, I don't want a small space, I want a dedicated room. What is one of the rooms that you could target first to temporarily change just to be a school room? What would you propose?
A formal dining room. If you already have an eating space in the family room or kitchen area. I'm not talking about bar stools. I mean, if you actually have a table, a secondary table that you've been using as a breakfast room, and I bet you 99% of the time that's where the meals are happening. So, and the dining room just sits empty, and that's really a big waste of space.
That's good. Okay, so if you have a dining room that is just there, I'm collecting dust and artwork.
You're right.
That may be a good target to change.
And it's a really easy fix.
That's good. Yeah. That, or the other idea is that home office for that in exchange for that dining room that no one ever goes to, right?
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of use for that dining room.
Yeah, I mean, like the one, like I mentioned, like the one on Mercer Island where we converted it into an actual study hall for the 3 kids, and also I utilized part of a very large living room that was just basically sitting empty, And
Okay.
so there you go. There you go. Plenty of ideas.
Yes, there you have it. Call Joey for any design ideas that you may need, and call Tina and I for your real estate and money or financing needs.
Yes. So Joey, say your number really quick, Joey, so they can call you. What's your phone number?
206-384-3206.
Got it. Great. All right. Well,
And one last thing. Yeah, just stay tuned for the encore broadcast of That Guy, our Curtis show that Tina knows, featuring an interview with Beat Champ. So there you go. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in today. Thank you, Joey. Thank you, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel.
Guys, next
Real
week.
estate and money with your hosts, Violeta, Strash, and Tina Lombard. For more information, call 206-717-4490. That's 206-717-4490. Go to the Rainier Avenue Radio.world website to find the real estate and money schedule, or tune in to our live show every Tuesday afternoon from 2:30 to 3. We will help you find your dream home.
Bye-bye.